So I asked you to try these last three on your own. I'm going to take these last three like a test. So I'm going to identify the cases and work it out, just the amount of work I'd expect you to have on a test. So for this one, as x goes to negative infinity, we have x cubed plus 4 over 2x plus 1. So on a test, I wouldn't need you to identify the degrees of each. So the degree of the top is 3, the degree of the denominator is 1. So you could, but you don't have to. This one's top heavy. You could at least write that to remind yourself. Next thing you need to do, because it's top heavy, the answer is infinity or negative infinity, but we're going to divide everything by the highest power of x in the denominator. So we're going to divide everything by a regular x. So I'm going to take the limit as x goes to negative infinity, and I'm going to do x cubed over x plus 4 over x. Remember, you don't want to take that coefficient with you. You can take the 2x with you. It just makes everything a little bit harder than it has to be. So then we're going to have 2x in the bottom divided by x, and then plus 1 over x. The next thing I like to do is cross out what's bottom heavy, because it's just going to go to 0. So in the top, 4 over x is bottom heavy. 4 divided by infinity, you're left with nothing. Nobody gets anything. And then the bottom, 1 divided by infinity, again, not enough to split up by infinity, so you're left with nothing. And now we're going to simplify what we have left over. So limit as x goes to negative infinity, x cubed divided by x, 3 minus 1 is going to give me x to the 2, or x squared. This went to 0. And then 2x over x is just going to give me 2. And that went to 0. And now I can plug in. Is my answer infinity or negative infinity? Well, I'm going to plug in negative infinity for my x, which is getting squared, and then I'm going to divide it by 2. Ooh, let's be careful on this one. Negative infinity squared. Negative infinity times negative infinity is going to make it positive infinity. Divided by 2 is going to keep it positive infinity. So be careful when you take a negative number and square it, it makes it positive. So this one, we had x go to negative infinity, and the answer was positive infinity. There's no pattern with these, by the way. The last one was also x going to negative infinity, but the answer was negative infinity. So there's nothing to memorize where, you know, negative always means it's negative or something like that. It can be either. 50-50 shot. Okay, and the next two, as far as what I'd like to see on a test for work, which you can see these are a lot of multiple choice, there's x going to infinity, so we're not going to plug in, factor, and make a table. We're going to do top heavy, bottom heavy, or equal. So this one, the degree of the numerator is 2, and the denominator is 4. So what case do we have? We have bottom heavy, it's the best. The answer is always 0. To show your work, you could just write bottom heavy, which is your case. If you want to be super fancy, you could write that the degree of the numerator is 2 and the degree of the denominator is 4. All I need to see is really your answer and then your reason why. You don't even have to really write out the degrees if you don't want to. You'd still get full credit. Bottom heavy is the best. The answer is always 0. Way easier than doing top heavy. And then this last one, the limit as x goes to negative infinity of 5 minus 2x squared. So our degree is 2 in the top, and 6x plus 3x squared. The degree is 2 in the bottom as well. So these are equal. You could write out the degrees if you want to. You totally don't have to. Your work could just say equal, and that's totally fine with me. But our answer is a ratio of leading coefficients. It's a number next to x to the highest power. Be careful on this one. The number next to x squared is a negative 2, not just 2. And then the bottom, it's a positive 3. So we get negative 2 over 3. And enough work would just be writing equal. So there's our limits at infinity. Completely different than if x approaches 4. That's when you have to do the harder plug-in factor. Make a table. If it's x going to infinity, bottom heavy is the best. The answer is always 0. Equal, take the number next to the highest power, make a fraction out of it. Top heavy, worst case scenario, divide everything through by x to the highest power in the denominator, get rid of what's bottom heavy, and then plug in to the simplified form to figure out whether the answer is positive or negative infinity.